Work session for the Architectural Review Board, public meeting of January 22nd, 2025 is now in session. Non-participatory, but do silence your phones. We'll start at about 6:30, the regular meeting. Mhm.
Yes. That happened. And if they want to designate, you pay an extra amount of rent. Landscaping on it.
You're a high roller. Question. Schedule for it.
I don't know if you read the paper.
Penny Sherman?
Yeah, it was burned.
I did see that. Yeah.
Because I'm looking at Google Earth and it doesn't look that way.
Currently,
And this is from, yeah, oh, 22. So maybe it happened in the
let's
past.
see what it looked like originally. Yeah. But there are photos included that show it burned out. Here.
Oh, okay.
And then in the, there's, building department, notice about.
And that's
conditions.
a violation as well.
Mhm. Oh, I was looking up the, notice that. You know what I find interesting is, here's if you're with, remodel constructions like this,
Mhm.
including, any sustainable, materials,
For the cheap. Yeah, that's what it is. But it
In
is.
terms of energy, making energy efficient,
Mhm.
smart. I wonder if other municipalities.
It's a good question. I haven't heard much about that related to construction. There's a lot on environmental impacts.
In terms of process.
In terms of process, but also what the impact is on the local environment, like,
What during construction?
during
Like,
construction,
right, the
yeah,
construction
yeah,
process, yeah.
not the actual construction itself.
Itself,
Yeah,
which is,
so,
um,
especially these days.
I would like for us to, get on our schedule, some of the meetings with the other municipalities this year. Last year, I didn't get any of them. I didn't really like it, but this year we need to. In the past, I think, and you probably, noticed, we used to get sent when there were meetings, and now we don't see that. It's up to us to really kind of go to the websites and we're talking the meetings with boards and other towns within the county. So we need to do that.
Yeah.
We need to attend. Educational. We need to get. Cause I have some questions. Just development and. Because nothing's getting any cheaper.
No, no.
And
When I see on posted.
someone said, or hey, some of these things in place gonna be more attractive.
Mhm. Well, and I see a lot of posts right now, especially on Nextdoor, about the Con Ed bills and what people are getting, and it's really sad. I mean, the sad part is apparently it's the delivery charges that it's not the usage, but people are freezing in their homes trying to save energy or save money, and instead Con Ed is turning around, and that's a state thing. And maybe we use the city to get to the state to try to get them to make changes. Oh, mine was over 1,000. And I gotta tell you, but it's the gas. Yeah. No, we keep it at 67, I think. Oh my God.
And it's still.
But no, I gotta tell you, so
Older houses, yeah. And I'm wondering if like the other boards are checking, like, how are these homes being zoned, like all that matters now if we can begin to, because it will help. I think, and you tell us resale wise, like, absolutely,
to me, it's not a lot different than the arguments they make for solar panels.
correct.
I mean, it's, it may cost more today, but the state even has rebate
Incentives.
programs for putting it, because that's one thing I want to try to do this year, put central heat and air in mine.
I would like to know about those programs.
Yeah.
If we could, maybe towards the end of this meeting, just start a small conversation about, links to that information, where to go, so we can do some research on that. I think we gotta start. 6:30. It's countywide and it's at a particular location. Sure. Okay, the regular meeting for the Architectural Review Board is now in session. I can't even talk today. First item on our agenda is roll call. And Nkechi, we don't need to wait for her? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Roll call.
Buzz Riley?
Robin Myers.
Linda Sanchez.
Okay, second item, approval of the minutes from October 23rd and November 20th.
minutes, but I haven't had a chance to send them to Catchy. For I sent them, so I'm sorry not to have it.
Okay,
You'll have to be.
Okay.
thank you. So we'll table that till next month. All right, first item on the agenda, 3.1 ARB 2460 36 South 11th Avenue, section 165.77, block 3022, lot 10 in the RMF 6.75 multifamily residence district. The board has received an affidavit of signposting, and the owner is Derek Riolano, say it again. Riolano, thank you, Derek, represented by Thomas J. Curo, the lead design professional. So this property is, RMF 6.75, multifamily residence district. The applicant is requesting a certificate of appropriateness to construct a two-story rear addition to an existing single-family stone residence, as well as interior alterations to convert the residence from a single family to a two-family. Thomas, you have the floor.
Yeah, so basically, this is a two-story addition at the rear. Creating bedrooms, bathrooms. Because there was a terrible fire, we took the opportunity to enhance the facade, create a sort of like a country model type of home by introducing certain materials, and a specific color scheme. Basically, we're just trying to make this a house that will actually enhance the street that it's on. It's simple things: vinyl siding, double hung windows, all color coordinated black on the outside, but on the inside, asphalt shingle roofs, architectural style, and a metal, just a hint of a metal standing seam roof over the existing front porch. This structure, the frame, the look up from the street is the same, just we replace the materials to give it a new, enhanced, modern, yet historic reference. And basically, there is a two-car garage, which when I located the two spaces, fit. It's not the most comfortable garage, but it does hold 2 9x8 spaces, which is by zone. The garage is adequate. We're going to replace the doors. We're going to match the siding that we use house on the building. Just to give you an idea of some of the materials, again, architectural shingles, black wood shutters, black windows. And then we have the wood grain column covers, very simple around the wood posts. All right, match it with the garage doors that we're proposing. New guardrail, probably like a white vinyl PVC. Fortunately, the structure of the home is not as severely damaged as it appears from the outside of the house. Really, mostly sheetrock removal, wiring, of course, but the structure of the frame is the same. We're not changing the roof line. Yeah, there is a very high ceiling in the attic, but we don't plan on using them any habitable use. It's just storage. It wasn't full staircase going up there, but again, the goal here is just to restore the home to not just what it was, but something better. And maybe that would be contagious throughout the environment. This street. Yes. Yep, I'm sorry. So yeah, currently it's a single family, but we are introducing this addition to create 2 new bedrooms and a bath, identical on both floors. Basement will remain just unfinished storage boiler room. And we took the opportunity to extend the basement under the addition in lieu of the crawl space.
Where's the boiler room?
Well, the boiler is in this area. It's open to the rest of the base. below grade. So it's an existing system that will probably be refurbished or replaced.
Oil or gas?
It's oil, I believe it's an oil tank. It's still oil. It was oil. I believe it's oil. But depending on what's more cost effective at the time, we may switch to gas. Or electric. Hasn't really been determined yet, but I think, right now, we're maintaining whatever's there. Which I believe is oil.
What happens with the roof in the back? Can you just detail that or point that out for me, the roof in the back,
The roof-
where the additions?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So this is the existing roof line. You can see the gable with the intersecting gable. The new roof line will be a gable facing the rear yard.
Mm.
And will intersect at the ridge of the existing. So it's really very simple shapes.
Mhm.
Uh,
And the gutters,
excuse me.
the gutters,
The
the
gutter-
leaders,
But it will
material?
be tied together to the stormwater system.
Aluminum, I'm talking style
Oh, style.
and color.
We're gonna keep it simple. We'll go with, something that is conducive to that particular style. Probably, pick out a shape that lends itself, to letting the rest of the roof kind of come through. I mean, the gutters is not a feature in this particular design, but if you have a preference, I mean, it's
Can you go back to your
Absolutely.
rendering on the first page?
perfect.
Well, they are part of the aesthetic, so typically they're noted in
Yeah.
terms of,
No, the full-blown rendering. The
color rendering.
The color rendering, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no significance right now to the gutters we proposed. But, they will be white to match the rake color. And,
okay,
yeah. With this particular style, I just felt it wasn't that.
just
critical.
notice a downgrade,
Yeah,
so
well,
water drainage, I'm just obviously thinking
Yeah.
of the homeowner. In terms
that-
of where that ties in and,
Yeah,
and
it's
how
actually-
that also looks aesthetically.
yeah, you're talking about. I'm sorry.
The
The
downspouts,
downspouts, yeah.
in terms of where the, renderings are designed to look good, but then they
I-
they leave out important details that also will be there.
Right. Well, located on it, where it made the most sense, because these are two separate areas, and we can't really, so it seemed like we could keep the symmetry with the leaders. And then here, we could run it and then come down to the system. So they would come down to the metal roof, come into the gutter, and then
Okay,
seemed like the most
Okay.
straightforward way of doing it.
okay,
This isn't the kind of house where you want to reinvent the wheel, I don't think,
Right.
so,
just a question.
yeah.
And I might have approached it differently and had the gutters on the sides go to the ground level directly rather than onto
Roof.
the roof. Because now you've got two drains, two downspouts leading into one, and it's
Yeah.
all going on.
In the heavy rain,
Yeah, and you're gonna have to have some sort of lean to get that water from the right side over to the pipe on the other. And if you take them to the sides at the corners of the house
mhm,
and go into the ground and, get it into the ground away from the house.
yeah,
It's probably better because you're,
What's that? I think the goal here was to minimize length, but I think you got a good point, and it would be no change in aesthetically. I mean, that might. be
honestly, I think it
better.
would look better.
Might look
it
better.
will be an aesthetic
We'll take
change,
that. Definitely,
yeah,
so they said 61.5 done. But
Yeah.
now we have to get it from there to, but.
Well, but
it can be done.
again, I just, and I know this is a function, but it's an important function, especially given climate change that's happening right now.
Sure,
Your driveway is on the side where you've got the single downspout.
right,
And I would be concerned about the amount of saturation coming from the entire roof
mhm,
down. And again, with your lean-to,
Mhm.
you're gonna have to do
Yeah.
wonky.
I actually agree, and I have no problem coming straight down.
That was an architectural term, by the
Yeah.
way, wonky.
Yes, in the dictionary.
Yeah,
Um,
That's on the roof.
Yeah,
The original roof is being replaced, correct?
correct.
Is that a charcoal coloring or bluish, or I don't know?
yeah,
So this is the texture. Okay,
but not the color.
well, the color, I'm not opposed to this color, but there's so many variations. I want it to be as dark as possible, just to contrast it, I think. I mean, this is good, but, I'm not opposed to going even dark. Contrast the
No,
inside.
the rendering looks bluish, so I'm asking the question.
No, it's not blue, it's just,
And then
sometimes
you
printer
also,
does.
the same roofing would be on the. new-
Of course, yeah, well, replacing the roofing and some of the sheathing, but otherwise the frame will remain. And so, yeah, that would be style. And, like I said, if we go with Timberland, we're limited to there, but we can go with other manufacturers to get something even darker. Which I think would really make it pop.
Well, your shutters are black, right?
Yeah, correct.
Do you have a finish, any other finishes to share?
Yeah, sure.
Material finishes, thanks.
We'll just give you an idea of the texture of the siding. This is from Certainty, and we would probably go with Colonial White or something close to that with this type of siding.
Um,
Metal roof would be just a simple standing seam. I found a manufacturer that comes pretty close to what we wanted. It's sustainable, it has, outlet last on the house basically, but then. And unfortunately, we can't do the whole house with, but it's nice just to do an accent.
I'm glad you're not.
It's also noisy when it rains. Have it. But some states, that's all they do.
That's, well, in the South, it's becoming very
Oh,
prevalent
yeah,
to the point that it's annoying.
I know.
It's because it doesn't belong in some houses. What you've done here, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
farmhouse style.
Yeah,
South Carolina, that's all we have.
no, to Alabama.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of things, just aesthetics. One is, I'm not sure I agree that it's appropriate to do the natural wood as the rail and the columns, the
Mhm.
posts.
Yeah,
It seems a little
sorry.
bit out of character.
The rendering came and then we decided to go with like a white, PVC rail, which would be a little more contrasting, so,
And white
Uh,
posts.
yeah.
Okay.
The columns, well, I'd like to keep the columns like that. And then have that, it's just a nice contrast.
I do too, actually, Tom. I mean Buzz, sorry.
It's just, yeah, everyone has.
No, it's subjective. I get that. I get
But,
that.
but I really thought the white vinyl would give it a little more, it would bring out the columns a little bit more.
Okay.
Up against
Maybe the white will help balance that. It's,
Yeah.
because right now, to me, it's too much wood. It's like somebody
Yeah.
did an add-on.
it's too
and-
much wood, I
yeah.
agree.
The other thing, so I've now seen 3 different front elevations. This is my favorite.
Yeah.
Because you've got that window upstairs centered over the door. The drawings that we were provided showed 2 windows off center, and then I noticed on one of your drawings, there was no window. So which one
No.
is it?
Well, may I see the one you have too? Because I know there was a change. I think one window would be more appropriate here.
I agree, and centered.
Yeah,
If you, I'm sure you've noticed, the 2 houses to the right
yes,
are the same house.
I know.
Only they enclose the porch,
Right.
unfortunately. But it's all the same style and design. And their
We will go with two, but it's a little busy and on
It
the
is
interior, it
busy.
doesn't really
The
help.
one is better.
One is better. It looks consistent with the neighborhood.
Yeah,
I personally, the scale of this house
Mhm.
with the black,
Mhm.
it's overwhelming to me.
Uh-huh.
I just feel like maybe, was there a consideration for making the windows white with the black shutters?
no, it wasn't. I think it's the angle that's, because if you look head on to this house, it doesn't really, proportion's a little different. I think the rendering doesn't do it much justice with in terms of proportion. If you look at the front elevation, you see it does feel,
Well, you've added shutters to what is not shown here. And
May not
that's
be
where
related.
it's starting to just be a lot of black.
yeah. Doesn't seem to be great. But,
I'm okay with that, proportion aesthetically.
Yeah.
Does,
two windows. Yeah, I think one window would definitely.
yeah,
that
for
goes-
sure. That's been.
Yeah.
Is the capping, as articulated in the rendering? The capping around the windows of the exterior capping, will it be that scale?
No, I think it'll be black. But it may be something like,
That's what's
Maybe that's
bothering
what,
me.
yeah,
That's what's
it,
bothering me.
it,
It's
it
the
articulates,
thickness
yeah,
yeah.
of the
very
frame.
thick. And you want
It's very
a
commercial.
substantial, but not, I think that's a bit scale wise, if it's toned down. I think that's what,
It'll be a
Yeah.
trim, maybe like a hardy plank or something very subtle, but it'll accentuate, it'll be a frame. around it.
enough.
Not
I'd
a
like to know
detail,
what that is.
Not a detail,
And I'd like to see it articulated,
sure.
in a rendering, along with the, vinyl, the white vinyl, posts,
Of course.
yeah. Lighting.
Hmm.
Tell us about the lighting.
Well, there'll be lighting under the soffit, few LEDs under there, on the timer, so that, the porch is lit at night. I mean, we could add some security lighting on the side. But, I think
We should definitely have motion on the side,
motion, so.
absolutely, for safety,
Correct.
any,
especially on the
very
side.
important, absolutely. Call me old fashioned, and I know, I know the recessed lights underneath are very popular. I think like most things, they will mark a time period.
yeah.
Perhaps maybe also doing a light to the right and left of the door
Sconce, putting a
sconce
sconce on either side.
would still be,
It would definitely add to the farmhouse character.
absolutely. Yeah. And you can still do the under the recess lights,
Mhm.
obviously.
I mean, they could be serviced. It's not like we're married to the recess, it's just,
Well, I get, especially, anything that's well lit is important and will get used, but aesthetically, adding the exterior sconces would be great. Yeah, and for sure, security lights
Yeah.
for the
okay.
side, a
Not a
motion, yeah. I have a question about the chain link fence.
With it.
This is an old Google Earth
Oh,
picture.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna remain. No.
Good. Because there is, and let me just go to that notation, there is also noted another material, a fence thing. What is that on the left and back? You see it, and are you looking at it? Bud?
Anything on the left and back, I believe, is the,
That's what I was wondering, because it's an entirely different material,
yeah, it's the neighbors.
but it,
Yeah, I saw that.
what is this? What is this, stockade? A stockade fence?
That's on the driveway side and the chain link on
The
the,
chain link is on on the right side,
Right,
and the stockade is on the left and in the back.
that's the neighbors.
Yeah, but that's on his property.
Is it?
It's on your property
No,
line.
not yours.
It's on his
the
neighbor's property. Okay,
see behind.
so tell me about the landscaping plan. that we don't see?
Yeah, well, we plan to put, some low-lying shrubs along the front. I mean, it's a small lot, you know,
And
Yeah, so it is a requirement. It's part of the application.
We will have landscaping along in front of the porch, and, areas around the signs.
So we'll need to see a plan
Okay.
and with the vegetation and plant selections. And I'm gonna start 2025 the way I ended 2024. Native plants, please. Please don't put things that are invasive or non-native because you will benefit in the long run with care and maintenance.
Okay, so we'll call these out based on what the zone requires for landscaping.
Well, there's not a requirement for landscaping and zoning. But it is something that we want to encourage the entire city of Mount Vernon to focus on putting in native plants. You know, there was a recent ordinance passed to restrict and control bamboo because it's getting out of control here.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, at the end of the day, the homeowner has less maintenance and less costs when you put in invasive plants. Most of them are drought tolerant. And it's just, it's better for the
maybe
environment.
native plants.
Native, sorry.
Can you give me maybe 2 or 3 suggestions, is that possible?
Yeah, no, happy to. And it's easy to find them these days, don't go to Home Depot, please. That's all they have are invasive plants, it seems. But there's plenty of nurseries around, but I'm happy to make some suggestions.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And also, if it's not a chain link fence, could it be vegetation that you're putting there in terms of a border? And then obviously, I don't know what the condition is of the existing neighbor's fence, but again, you could landscape so that you mitigate the visuals of that. If you're having a, you know, beautiful new construction, that's equally as important, as well as, so we want to see a schedule for that backyard space as well. And then lighting for the garage, wanting to make sure that there is, lighting on that structure as well.
And are you adding any pervious surfaces
That's
to
what
the?
I was gonna ask.
No, we're not.
So the driveway surface is,
Same driveway, I believe it's paved already.
is asphalt?
It's like a rock solid, but it's maybe a little vegetation right now.
Is this it? I'm sorry.
So this is from 2022.
I'm sorry, yes, it is, sorry, yeah, I couldn't see what.
So this is what you're gonna
That's it,
keep?
yes.
You're just gonna
Yes,
obviously
Right, patch it.
yeah.
redo it, repave it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let that be noted that the driveway should be repaved. And there are no trees existing. Are there trees existing on the property? They were moved?
No.
Are you adding a tree? Is it
No.
a streetscape? No.
Would you
Okay.
add a tree?
Would you add a tree?
It
As
doesn't have
part
to be
of
a
the
tall
street?
tree.
I was just curious.
Sure.
It's-
Maybe to make up for the chain link fence.
I'm actually, no.
Just some,
Well, that's shrubbery. I'm thinking trees in the front. Is there a tree? Streetscape,
yeah, I don't.
because sometimes they,
I don't think so.
There
You
is,
know-
But it may be, but I don't. know.
I understand.
there's 2 trees in
Is this it?
this is the
Yep.
site.
That's,
This is the
but this
tree.
is from 2022. I don't know if something happened. to
Is
it.
that tree there?
It was, the storm came up, like half of it blew off almost about, before we got cut
Oh,
down.
okay.
So the neighbor next door then very kindly called, was like, hey, we were sitting around.
Right. May I ask you,
Yes.
would you approach them? Was it a tree here on the street or was it in your
It was
property?
in the property.
Okay. I'm really
Why
talking
don't I
about
see
there.
it now? Oh, I just might be new.
So that one's, what I was showing you on Google Earth was
Okay.
one too.
Yeah,
3
so,
years ago.
so yeah, it was,
Okay.
there was a tree on the property,
Okay, yeah.
behind the fence, behind the chain.
Any further questions?
I have one other question. It's probably not relevant, but I'll ask it. The fence on the neighbor's side, does your client have the right side of that fence?
The right side or the,
Well, when you put up a
the nice
fence,
side?
you should have the right side.
I'm not sure which side.
I didn't plan on putting up a fence on that side. Is that what you're asking me to do?
No, the fence that's existing, that's the stockade fence. And I'm just curious if
I honestly don't
you
know.
have the right side of that, when you should have the right side of that if the neighbor put it up.
He may not understand what the right side of that means.
The finished side,
The finished
so you
side.
don't see the actual post
Yeah.
structure of the stockade.
nicest side.
Yeah, I'd have to check.
Usually
I'm not
they face
100%
The
sure.
person who put it up,
I never lived
That's
at
it towards his property.
No,
Only one member.
Are you living at the, will you be living at the property?
After it's done, yes.
Yeah.
Are you,
That's my son.
oh,
He just graduated from law school. I'm trying
my
to.
son law school.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
It's just curious because when he has the better side of the fence, it's easier then to mitigate the fence,
Oh, sure.
than having the.
I feel like I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the opposite, but
Well, you can again landscape with shrubberies so that, fences are very, what's the word, strong. They're strong aesthetic statement. Greenery is a lot nicer. Yes, there's more maintenance, but, life is
better
short.
overall.
Okay.
So do you want me to get it from the front?
It's on, for me, it would be to replace what may have come down streetscape wise, but, I'm not sure about, in your front yard. Because I don't know,
Your site plan, by the way, still shows, it shows 2 trees, actually,
yeah,
That's off the circle.
3 trees.
I don't know how big is that property, the width, how wide is it? Doesn't seem big enough for 2 trees.
Well, not the way that they're shown on the existing plan, no, but you could use a dogwood, you could use,
How big are they gonna get and what's the root system like,
dogwoods are
my-
fine.
in terms of root system
yeah.
and height?
Yeah,
Okay,
dogwoods can go up to 20 feet, which will not even get to the top of the roof. But you could do columnar type trees, like a columnar ginkgo. There's a columnar poplar. There are smaller scale trees that I think would add to the streetscape, ideally, the city,
I was gonna say, we could see if the city could
yeah,
plant,
in the
right,
because then it is gonna be too much if you put 2 trees in the yard and then
Agreed.
they put trees out here,
Agreed.
so. And the city is on a big mission right now.
Yes.
Planting trees,
I've seen some of their work,
yeah,
doing that,
Yeah, we always do that in the city,
Mm.
every, 1 tree every 25 feet.
yeah,
Have to do.
okay. Yeah. One other quick question. Do you know, since you're adding to the existing, water utilities and waste utilities, if there's been any problems in the area? Because Mount Vernon has had some storm drain issues, and have they been working in the area? Do you know any?
I'm not sure of any existing issues, and the water's been cut off since the fire. Because they're worried about possible vandals coming.
Oh,
in,
yeah,
things
sure,
like
sure.
things like that. So
Yeah.
that, it's gotta be 3 years.
I would, ask just to make sure, you're good. Like you said, you didn't live there before. You want to make sure everything's okay. Okay. We don't have them catch you to summarize, so we're gonna have to go on memory. Whoever's making the, thank you. Okay.
As soon as I realized she wasn't.
Would you kindly give us a quick recap so that, thank you.
Okay, so, the first, and this one I don't know if I have 100%, but the downspouts, you want them to go straight down the building?
Side.
at the corners of the front of the house.
Mhm.
So that should, the downspout should be revised, to go down the corners of each front of them.
And I'm gonna add that you should reassess what you're doing at the porch roof.
The pitch,
You may need to put gutters on each side,
Yeah.
just to avoid having that,
Right.
making it
oh, yeah.
with the
Mhm.
slope that's gonna be required.
Mhm.
Okay, can you, what was that again?
reassess the drainage, proposed drainage pipes and quantity at the porch roof.
Reassess.
Porch,
The lower
porch,
portion.
Change the guardrail color from the brown to white.
That's I thought that was the columns on the guard.
just the guardrail,
Just the guardrail, just the railing, the railing.
finish, the color and the color material.
I had. See,
Lighting under the porch and not.
He's still at guardrail
oh,
color.
sorry. So change, guardrail. To white,
Yeah,
natural color.
correct.
Okay, now I got it. Um, Okay, I had something about scale of the house with the black shutters.
Well, it's really, we'd like to see a rearticulation, obviously, of the entire rendering, but the trim around the windows, the proportion of it to be,
Less heavy. Less large.
Turns around, be less heavy. Okay. And then I've got, provide the light sconce next to the door, the front door,
on both sides of the door.
on both sides. Okay.
Yes.
I wasn't sure that's not too. So, lights next to both,
On both sides of the entry door.
and then there's recessed light also,
That's fine, that's already there, I believe, but
okay? Provide an exterior light, above the driveway.
yeah, security lights, around the structure of the house. Motion ideally,
Motion activated, okay?
And on the garage.
yes.
Yeah, I have a garage also.
Great.
Land, okay, and then, native plants only,
But provide a landscape
provide a
plan.
landscape plan with native plant only. The driveway should be paved.
Yeah.
And, that's it, right?
Yep,
Okay.
and if anyone wants to make a motion with those, conditions,
I will make a motion with
Is-
the conditions.
is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's really lovely.
So, but we expect a resubmission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that and they'll just send us email, and we'll take a look at it. You don't have to come back to the next meeting for us to
We'll
take a look at those.
And do a list of the conditions.
Mhm.
Send you every back.
And you're welcome to have these back.
You want to keep them?
Oh, no, it's fine.
So I thank you for not enclosing the porch.
Yeah.
I hate it every time I see a
Valuable
house
real
that's done
estate.
that. This has got so much more character, don't tell your neighbors, it's got so much more character than the other.
Yeah,
houses. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
really
Thank you so
lovely.
much.
And congratulations, our attorney's son. What are we, what kind of law?
Hopefully, criminal law.
Oh, okay.
Criminal little person.
I hope to never need you. Okay.
It's my next.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
Just take over the family.
Okay. Thank you, comments, I appreciate you. Okay, next item on the agenda, 3.2 ARB 24-50-145 South Fulton Avenue, section 165.80, block 4002, lot 19 in the RMF 10 multifamily residence. The board has received an affidavit of signed posting. The owner is Somersault NY LLC, Somersault, yeah, hi, Somersault. Very good, thanks. Represented by Shaheen Badali. Let's see, requesting a certificate of appropriateness to construct a new two-family wood frame modular house to replace the former and since demolished 2.5-story single-family residence.
With all that, I'm trying to find the front elevation, and I left you with the back.
Well, good evening, I'm Shaheen Badali, to Wilson Place, Mount Vernon, New York, 10550, representing the applicant. And they're both good as well.
And they're, I'm sorry, they're both,
These are, they're a partnership, so they're both here.
oh, okay, I couldn't hear you.
So one of the effects I'm hoping is currently a vacant piece of land. And it's proposed to construct a new two-family dwelling on the lot. We did obtain we have obtained approval of zoning compliance. I will inform the board that our lot is just ever so slightly undersized. So you will see in your packet, an approval from a staff level approval essentially of the zoning compliance. So just to clarify that portion. The house that's proposed is a two-story, two-family, and it is a modular construction to be built by Westchester Modulars. We did provide the rendering that Westchester Modular drafted. I do want to make the board aware that the front door displayed on that rendering is different than ours, and that is the door that the applicant is seeking to install. So it's different from this wooden door displayed here.
So wait, which one is correct?
The one on the Westchester Modular rendering is correct, which is a white door with, it's like a craftsman style with the two panels and a little glass on the top.
I'm not sure we have that. Oh, wait, it's the last sheet.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
I see.
That is the only page that was not printed in my set, so I cannot go through it, but I do have the other end. Now, so the house is proposed to have all the finishes come from the factory, and we are hoping to obtain approval of those finishes that the factory has specified. And I'd like to briefly run through them if that's acceptable. The siding is proposed to be a 5-inch Dutch lap and it's white. The windows are proposed to be an Anderson 100 series with a black frame. All of the trims are proposed to be white trims. The roofing is proposed to be a charcoal color. I have the sample as well that I can share. The front door is that craftsman style door that's displayed on the rendering. The garage door is this multi-panel door displayed also both in the rendering and the elevation. I unfortunately do not have a sample of those two doors, but they will be exactly as depicted in the image. The rear yard has a deck proposed. And some steps. We're proposing to do a Trex railing, so a birch door was submitted for that. And that would be a Trex select railing with a white railing with a straight rail at the top, straight rail at the bottom, and pickets in between them. We're proposing square pickets and square rails, or rectangular rails, I should say. We also provided a specification on that Anderson 100 window. A specification on the siding, and it is the 5-inch Dutch lap that's proposed, and that's in white. The decking itself is proposed to be a Trex material, and we're hoping to propose the Winchester gray, which is displayed here on the sample as well. So it would be white pickets with a gray flooring. The roofing is gray. The siding is white, the trims are white, the gutters and the leaders are white, and the windows have a black frame.
So the rendering that's here from the modular company is not correct,
That is exactly, the windows are not correctly displayed in that window.
but it's also presented as gray
It is.
lap siding, yeah. Okay.
The other items I'd like to mention is that it's proposed to install a asphalt driveway, that leads down to the basement, and a paver's walkway up to the front steps. The same Trex material would be used in the front porch areas.
So the step, what is the tread for the steps leading to the front porch? What's the material?
We're proposing that same tracks, but we would be open to a stone if the board thinks.
For the
that-
tread.
Yeah,
I feel like on the front, it would be more appropriate, certainly on the back as a deck, as a
Right.
casual area, if you will. But on the front, it just feels like it, so that it doesn't read.
we'll do bluestone then if that's, I would definitely propose
Or,
that as the
okay,
alternative.
I think that would be a good idea.
Okay, great. So we would propose some bluestone treads and then the foundation as well as the steps, and the risers would be stucco. In a natural gray color. And, I'd also like to mention in terms of the landscaping, we were hoping to propose just a grass area everywhere with seasonal plants in the front yard. There's not a huge amount of space. So we would provide planting beds in that front yard. With seasonal flowers and then a grass area everywhere, so we have some areas to the sides of the walkways that we like to plant flowers to. And to maintain the rest as hopefully an open grass area. The property's already fenced in currently with chain link fences on the neighbors. It's not, there's a chain link fence on the front yard that will get removed fully. And it's currently not proposed to install any fencing as a part of this application.
So this is an empty lot today.
It is, there was a house that was burnt down or in poor condition that was demolished. I don't know why or how it was there.
It was a zombie home, and it was a complete eyesore for the neighbors for years.
Oh, wow. That's pretty bad. Oh,
And hopefully a new structure on this block could really improve it. It is a little bit of a blighted area just because of that structure, and you have Third Street over there, which has been closed, so it's kind of like, yeah.
this is always interesting to me when you have a group of 2 or 3 homes that were all clearly built at the same time.
Right.
If you look at yours, that's what that was.
Right.
Like all the same developer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. And even the one on the other side.
Now, in this Google Earth shot from June of last year, I see a tree at the front. And I see old growth trees in the back. Whose property is that on?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the trees in the rear yard within our property, and the 1 7-inch tree in the front yard is ours. It's fully within the property. It's currently not proposed to be removed.
Okay,
None of the trees currently are.
please don't, please
Okay.
don't.
And they wouldn't impede the development, so.
One of the trees in the back is falling down.
So
Oh, okay.
So there is
That's
an
good.
ordinance in Mount Vernon where you need to get it permitted if you're gonna remove a tree. And it needs to be looked at, perhaps it's diseased and you have a valid reason for removing it. So please go through that process. We're losing too many trees and we're creating too many heat islands in the
Mhm.
city. And it breaks my heart every time I see one come down.
When people buy a house and they cut all the trees down.
Oh, don't even say that, Shane.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling because I see no finishes and no real aesthetic. So are we expected to approve based on not having this?
What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate? I'm sorry.
Actual finishes.
Like
No,
a sample of the
no
material itself?
finishes and
Or
the
that the elevation
rendering.
needs more work if.
all of it.
Okay, sure, yeah, I mean, it is a modular house, so it is not.
Doesn't
extremely
matter.
detailed.
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
I feel like I don't have anything to go off of, it's gonna be color gray. There's so many shades of gray. There's no specifics.
Don't you
So
50?
Maria, please make note to make sure that every applicant knows to provide finishes.
And the rendering does need to be updated because it's
So you
being
would want
referenced.
like I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so I should bring an actual sample of the paint color
Yeah.
versus the
This is
printout?
not your first rodeo. Yes,
Oh, but no, because for paint, it looks exactly the same on paper on a sample.
bring a sample if you can.
Yeah.
Their paint
doesn't
samples
always
are
print.
the easiest.
Okay.
But yeah,
okay.
it doesn't always print.
So and there's an inconsistency between I guess, Shane, it's your drawing
Yeah.
and the modular drawing
Yes.
with the roof. you have a gable that is dying, yeah, that's not what the modular house
That is
shows.
correct, it is a little bit.
So
Which is it?
which one is it?
Well, right now, it's what the modular is proposing.
Which
Okay.
is this one?
And she's pointing to the modular
That's
drawing.
correct, it's with that roof detail being,
Windows are even different. This is a 6/0, and that's,
Much more craftsman.
yeah. And is that the door style with the oval window?
no, so we're modifying that with the style that's displayed there.
Okay, yeah, this is gonna have to be a lot more cohesive.
Yeah.
Cause it's just,
And
Eric.
this is a bit of a more curious question to me. So this is the very first time I've ever seen a modular house presented. What is the advantage of doing this? And sorry, I'm OG, I'm old guard. When I hear modular house, I think mobile home. And I know that's not what this
No.
is, but just what made you want to go this direction?
The cost is cheaper and the actual modular, company does finance.
Ah, okay. Do they, in this case, are they going to fabricate a lot of it off-site and
Yes.
deliver the big
The majority
walls
of
and? Okay, this will be interesting.
And will come in 2 boxes.
have you
What-
done it before?
He has done it before.
He is whom?
That's Valone Dixie. He's a broker. I'm an agent. He has experience with this, so I'm consulting with him, asking him a lot of questions. He agreed to come out here tonight and provide any support or answer any questions about the modular process.
And your name is, sorry,
I'm Val, I'm his consultant.
Val.
Valen.
Dallin?
Yeah.
Do you mind, a quick question? Is there a modular project that you've done in Westchester in this vicinity?
Oh, yes.
Could you tell us which towns and,
We-
maybe provide us addresses?
We were
Okay,
168 Dobbs Ferry Road.
168 Dobbs Ferry Road,
Also 205 Warren Avenue, White Plains Farm, and 215 Warren Avenue.
215 Warren Avenue.
168 is already sold 2 years now. The buyer is very happy. And 205 is in contract, 215 is down, but
205
Warren.
Warren Avenue.
Warren Avenue,
WARREN.
okay. And 215 Warren Avenue, same street.
Right, so basically everything is fabricated in a factory. So they deliver it, they install everything in like 2-3 hours, everything is installed. Brian will do the foundation and excavation, obviously. And then what the contractor will do is we'll finish interior and have it outside.
Mhm.
So,
You should see this on
But they do
Zillow.
good-
It-
they do a good job.
Get us.
the one on Warren is very nice on the
Oh,
inside. I'm not loving the garage, but
And what,
Yeah, it's
town?
a beautiful job, they do a great job. And I'll be-
From you? What's the address?
again, this is more of a curious question. What percent difference between traditional construction approach versus modular?
How much, but
What percent?
Anywhere between 10 and 20%.
That's significant.
In terms of cost savings?
it's percentage, but also it's what we realize is like you do a state bill
Process
process, but a lot of liability as well.
and impact. I would also, say environmental impact, is,
Environmental.
less.
impact, They making noise, constantly billing,
mhm.
bothering
Mhm.
neighbors. And also while you build state bills, what I mean from engineers, also it's like the rain, the cold, the snow constantly hitting while you build, so kind of damage.
Where weather, yeah.
So
And so are there different material packages, that, tiers in terms of,
Level.
quality
as
level?
far as I know, I would say probably better off like modular than state built.
No, I meant within the modular,
Interiors absolutely have different levels.
okay.
Yes. I also mentioned,
And exteriors, I would say, right?
somewhat, not really. Mostly the exterior, if you want to upgrade it, you just have to, like, you would order it without siding and.
And then do it on site
Correct.
upgrade.
Yeah.
And you're also what, Shaheen?
So I do want to mention, I'm currently construction managing 6 townhouses being installed by Westchester Modular in White Plains. So
6
I'm
townhouses in White Plains,
32-42 Chatterton Parkway. So I'm
32,
also very familiar with both Westchester Modular specifically, but like modular construction.
spell that chat.
Chatterton.
ChatterTon.
It's off Central Avenue.
It's on Battlefield.
Yeah.
Battlefield.
shortcut you.
It is. So.
Is this your first time working with a modular?
It's my first time working with
This
Westchester
one,
Modular.
Westchester
I've worked
Modular.
with Cineplex and Presa and a couple other companies that I can't think of right now. but
Are they all comparable in terms of the same type of?
They are really not. Western Modular is kind of considered the top, in that they provide the most service.
Okay,
They do the installation themselves,
Uh-huh.
they're within 50 miles of their factory, which is in Wingham.
Wingham, New York?
Yeah, it's upstate, but we are within 50 miles of it. So there's a special advantage where you can get financing, delivery, installation, and they do provide a little bit better quality product than most of the modulars. They are a premium though. They're more expensive than the guys like out in Pennsylvania.
But then to your point, less expensive than doing an on-site build?
I can quote you like numbers if you're curious, like.
I am curious.
Like most, a wood frame, a type 5 structure is
Yep.
typically around $125 to $130 a square foot, delivered, installed, and everything. That's not gonna include typically your mechanical system, your foundation, and all the cycle.
So you, electrical, it's not gonna.
No,
Plumbing,
that does, all of that's included, just
Electrical,
that
plumbing,
heating system, if you wanna do ductwork, is typically an add-on.
okay.
But essentially, if you're doing a boiler or something, so versus the cost of construction today, which is probably north of $200 to $250.
No, I was gonna say actually more than that. In Westchester County, the last thing I read was 3 to 350.
Okay, I didn't wanna say that because at the zoning board, I was told that number was wrong last night, but I think that's what it is, so.
Some of us live in the real.
You know, so, but I agree, I think the cost today to build a frame structure is around $300.
Yeah, it is. It
So,
is.
you know, so there's real savings and above all else, the savings in the modular is the risk. Because nobody can get hurt on your job site while you're building it, and you have a guaranteed time of the amount that it takes
delivery.
to
Yeah.
install. And that for an investor is usually everything. Also, there's a house by my house that's a modular, if you probably drive by it all the time, you may not know, corner of Grand Street and Rich Avenue.
Yeah.
It is a modular house. I can give you the exact address, there's 376. I think the address is Rich Avenue, so 376 Rich Ave, which is corner of Grand and Rich, is a modular that went up, I wanna say maybe 15-ish years ago.
Oh, I would like to see the longevity of a,
It looks
was that
great.
also Westchester modular?
I don't know, I actually know the person who built it, I can ask them and.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like to know.
Like Shaheen said, we consulted Brian to go with Westchester Modular because even though there's more money, they understand and know rules and regulations of every building department in Westchester County versus other companies like in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania.
Sure. Mhm.
And also, I mean, myself, also years ago, I had the feeling that, oh, modular is like not a real house, but.
Oh, God,
It's
nowadays.
built to go in Kingdom.
Shane,
No, you definitely can't.
I have a question.
No,
Would you live in a modular house?
I would, but I would prefer to build a stick-built one only for the fact that you're limited, as you can tell, in some of the architectural items that you can do.
yeah, is that it?
That's the
I
modular.
drive by that all the time.
All the time, you
Yeah.
never know it's a modular.
Okay,
So,
So this is Rich, this
That's
is
great.
Grand, and there's a house across the street that is,
I can give you another example of.
No, I
modulars.
want to know if you would live in a modular house.
I definitely would, and I don't believe that there is any downgrade to it. I will mention that in terms of raw materials, since they buy things in bulk, you know, what is the grade of the wood that you're buying? It may not be as good as the lumber you're buying yourself at a lumber yard.
But it's better than Home Depot.
It's definitely better than Home Depot and the.
Say no more, no.
And the installation, right? The quality control of the installation is hyper focused compared to a guy on a field, you know?
What's the guarantee for the structure itself? What kind of guarantees? Warranties, guarantees?
Do you give 1 year warranty?
1 year, no.
Yeah,
Probably standard for most home builders, though, you know?
but the one we built in Dobbs Bay Road, I think it's like sold out 2 or 3 years ago. We never received any phone calls from the client with solar.
But there's a 1-year guarantee on the structure.
Not a structure, it's a, someone else does foundation excavation.
The house itself, the
South itself, yeah.
1 year.
It's a brand new.
Yeah, like the connection points when they put the two boxes together is pretty over designed, like if you were to see how they connect them together, it's pretty substantial, like, you know. I'd be very comfortable in saying.
So houses settle, like, you know,
Mhm.
I would imagine a modular house settles also.
For sure.
And there are what you often need to touch up after a couple of years, and usually in new construction, that's kind of folded into the agreement saying, all right, we'll come back and deal with any settling issues. So 1 year is usually not enough for settlement
I'm just
issues to
concerned.
present themselves.
And these are curious questions.
Yeah, totally.
But insurance will cover for everything else.
What did you say? What, you
Insurance.
actually use that? Is there such a thing?
Do they actually pay anybody?
That word is no longer allowed. Forget, no, I'm teasing,
So,
seriously teasing, but yeah.
if I may ask, just to
Yeah.
make sure that I do the right thing, aside from the information, in terms of the building itself, I'll bring physical sample of those items.
Please,
But in terms of the look and the styling.
do you have a color rendering so that we can see the articulation of the finishes?
Absolutely.
An updated,
Yeah,
I mean,
Sure,
it's,
we can update that.
yeah,
I will say, I personally, I think it's going to be an asset
I agree.
to the neighborhood.
Oh,
The proportions are right and the scale is good, so aesthetically, and I'm glad to see that it's the gabled roof intersecting rather than gable,
Yeah.
I don't like
Like it's
that.
stacked.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, you don't like this, you'd
No,
rather, oh,
I'd
good,
rather have
perfect,
that.
excellent.
Um,
That's probably why the modular did it.
I just feel like it gives it a depth that does not,
That's-
so.
Shane, you bought samples, but
I do, but I don't have paint samples. I have a roofing and a siding sample, so.
Yeah, just bring it all next time.
Yeah.
Lighting, tear sheets, all of it,
And
doors, tear sheets,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, one
the usual.
specifically for the door that's specified.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you will have, as this rendering is showing, an porch overhang
Yes.
at the front doors, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna write this down.
So I want to go back to the landscaping. I don't necessarily agree with all lawn, but that's again subjective. But as far as seasonal plantings,
Oh,
you know, that could change every year. I get that, especially if you're going to do perennials. But I want to note that even those need to be native.
oh, that, absolutely, please. Native flowering plants, we're saying, right?
Yeah,
Okay, cool, absolutely.
And that the existing trees are articulated, and please know the one that is struggling and may, be
They're,
requested for removal.
yeah, I'll update that and like they're displayed, but they're unfortunately under.
Yeah,
green
we'd
with the
like
grass, so I'll bring them to the front. So they're
Sure.
Very visible.
Yeah.
and just something to think about. If you, I get the seasonal plants and that's fine, but I would encourage you to think about shrubs of some sort to soften the house.
Yeah,
Oh, no, absolutely, we'll definitely take that,
Cause you you have the hard surface of the driveway, you have the hard surface of the walkway, and boy, Shane, you really got that impervious ratio, 39.25%.
This whole
Yeah.
house is designed right to the T, except for the height, you know?
But I would encourage some sort of planting that softens the house itself, so it's not sitting in this desert, if you will.
Do you think that flowering shrubs are better or like evergreen shrubs? Like
That's a
boxwoods
personal
and-
choice.
Okay.
As long as they're native, I don't care.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, we can definitely run some, it might be nice to screen the driveway from the walkway and also prevent
Absolutely.
people from like going over that.
Absolutely.
So I'll explore that and I'll definitely provide something, updated, thank you.
can I ask you a question? How soon can we come back? Because the reason is because a couple of years ago, City of Mount Vernon called me to buy this house because it was a community headache and I had put a bid in for it. And they told me the proviso was at contract that I had to knock it down in a certain amount of days, which turned out to cost about $70,000-$80,000, which I did. I've been sinking money in ever since, trying to help out the community and myself, of course, full transparency. So I'm really need to get going.
So we meet monthly, and I'm sorry to say, I mean, I'm gonna be blunt, the onus is on Shane to pull this together.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Next
we
month.
can meet this month, next month.
yeah,
with-
this time, yeah.
I think it's
and-
February.
And there's been enough dialogue that we should be on the same page. It should just be
Okay.
checking boxes.
Amazing, thank you.
I think it's February 18th, it's our next meeting date.
Nope,
I'm sorry, oh.
yeah.
My-
No
This is
way.
my
it's
birthday
first
present.
birthday.
What, the next meeting's like, birthday?
Yeah.
Okay, well, bring presents. I mean, I think I've gotten clear direction, but was there anything else that I should consider or think about?
I don't think so,
Okay, cool, thank you.
yeah. So we will, look forward to seeing you guys on the 26th.
Just ask a question, just for the painting samples, is being delayed another month?
No, not just for the paint samples.
The renderings are
Everything.
everything.
It'll be the door, the window, the railing, the paver,
Everything.
the paint.
And then a color rendering articulating
So
everything.
the materials that
we
need
can
to be
see it.
brought to the architectural review board need to be complete. And they need,
Notified about this?
I'm sorry?
Yes, yes, but and then additionally, you have to update the render, which Westchester Module is gonna have to do. And it's gonna have to actually be accurate to like what we want.
This isn't close your eyes and pretend. This is, you have to
Yeah.
bring the actual materials, the drawings. We have to see what you're doing. You can't just describe it.
Because that's up to speculation, and if
Yeah.
everybody did that,
It would be chaos.
yeah. And, yeah. Okay. Thank you, and, looking forward to seeing you on the 26th. Thanks, Shaheen.
Okay. Are you presenting the next one?
I am.
Okay, but no, but your client or owner's not here.
They are not going to attend any of the meetings, I'm so sorry to mention. that.
Okay,
They
okay.
kind of stated that they don't want to be visible.
The next, client?
Okay.
Okay, the mystery client. Next item, 3.3 RB 2461, 157 Elwood Avenue, section 165.5, block 2155, lot 8, 9, and 10. In the R17 single family residence, we have received an affidavit of signed posting. And the owner is Ina H. Billy, presented by Shaheen Badali. Let's see, the applicant is requesting a certificate of appropriateness to make additions and alterations to an existing single-family residence, including a renovation and raising of the second floor and the addition of a deck in the rear of the property.
And that's what it is. So 157 Elwood, it's right by the apartment buildings that are along Elwood, right off Lincoln Avenue. And you're actually, when you come down the street from Lincoln Avenue, it's like very visible from the street as you make that intersection. So the house does kind of stand out a little bit. That being said, it's currently a one-story house with, or 1.5 story. And so the second story is within that roof pitch. And it currently has green siding on all 4 sides. It was recently renovated, so that siding and the windows and everything looks relatively new. And I don't believe Google Maps is updated to that new siding. So if you were to go to Google Maps now, you could see prior to its renovation. But it currently looks like our existing elevation right now. So right now, the house is renovated with black windows and green siding already.
Yeah, it's on Google Earth, it's still showing the white with no shut, yeah, just white, yeah.
Yeah, so all of it, so this is actually the way it was currently renovated. And then now, the expansion of the house.
Shaheen, sorry, including the windows at the front door because they're completely different from Yeah, they're sliding casement type windows versus double hung.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
That they're like with the
That they're
double
like
hung.
this
Okay,
right now.
it was just a
Yeah.
curious question.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm fairly positive, but, oh no, it's hard to tell. These are showing as
Actually, I'm-
double hungs here. So these are double hungs currently now.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and we are proposing all double hung windows.
Actually, this may be like a Chicago style window, it looks like.
Oh, the.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up, I do have a picture of it, so I can actually tell you exactly.
And part of my reason for asking is because just trying to understand what we're going from.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll notice also to the right, that house is very similar in its
It's
style.
identical.
Yes, okay, so. and they-
We have a theme tonight.
Yeah, we do. And they did, some pretty major work on that house too, so it's been
Okay.
renovated as well.
Okay,
I'm just gonna pull up that picture while we're talking. So essentially, the proposal is to completely add a new second floor. So right now, there are no second floor walls at all. And we'd be building up those second floor walls so that the roof is completely new. So what's there now would be ripped off, new second floor walls are built up, a new roof is built. The existing chimney's remaining, but as a part of the proposal, it's not being reused, so it's not being extended because it will be decommissioned.
okay.
So that's why it does appear a little low in
Yep.
proportion to the roof, but it will be decommissioned. The applicant is seeking to maintain the green siding on the three faces and to modify the front facade to a gray siding. I do have a sample here. The upper floor has that triple window in this main living space shown, and then 3 windows to match the lower floor windows above. There's just a fake roof gable there to try to give it a little something,
Break,
a break in the
massing,
elevation,
yeah.
in the massing. There's also this roofing here, which right now, it's hard to tell now, this piece actually pops out and comes forward from here, so this is a
Yep.
triangular piece of roof that like overhangs that area. So that'll be demolished too, and then we would re-wrap from that point all the way back, a new kind of overhanging porch.
So you'll have a porch.
Correct, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, I mean, it has like a porch now, but
but it's not covered.
It's not covered, yeah.
Yeah.
And that is, it's also kind of awkward, this roof right now here.
Yeah.
So, and that's where the kitchen is, so it really can't be, we can't change that shape there.
Are there posts?
There's one post currently here. There is one post here.
It's not articulated, or is it?
It's super light, but it's shown there.
But and you're not adding another post anywhere.
It's maintained, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Shrub.
I see it now.
And then, yeah, so essentially that's the front facade. We have this section popping out a tiny bit. This is a completely new roof. We have this gable with the double feature. These are 3 new windows. This is a new triple window where the middle is fixed. These are existing windows, and this door is it will be replaced, but it's the one that's there. On the back side, and then, I'm sorry, and then as well as a matching garage door, just to upgrade it, that would be a flush panel door. In the backyard, there's currently this metal awning that covers the rear yard door, the basement door, I'm sorry, and there's no deck. And that main living space on the first floor has this double window. It'd be proposed to maintain that opening and install a pair of sliding doors, sliders, not French. And then this is supposed to be a wooden deck painted white, with a staircase going down. And the posts are also all, just wooden posts that are painted white. On the rear facade, there's also this addition of a door here, where there used to be a window. So that comes out of a new bedroom that's in the basement that's been added.
That's existing added, or you're going to add?
We're creating an additional finished space in the basement. It's partially finished right now. We're fully finishing it and adding a second door.
Gotcha.
So that'll be the egress.
Yeah, oh, we honestly have enough egress. It's more like it's an older person that will most likely live there in that lower bedroom, and it's for ease of entry. That's mostly the gist of it. I do have some examples as well.
Mhm.
So the roofing is proposed to be the charcoal again, but the applicant has no preference. I'll leave this here, sorry. And then
I'm sorry, which one, Shane?
right now they're proposing charcoal. But the applicant has, made me aware that they are open to suggestions if the board does have any. And the siding is proposed to be the pebble gray one. I don't think I can take this off, so I have to go to the whole thing.
But it is the hardy board.
No, the pearl gray, you said, or the gray slate?
I think I said pearl, but maybe I said the wrong one.
The pearl gray?
I did say this one,
Is
but
it green?
it is not green. No, no, the front they want to change to gray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so this whole infill and then
so the front is gonna be green, I mean, the back is gonna be green?
Yeah, three
It's proposed to maintain the green on the other three sides, which is it's like a vinyl lap siding, yeah.
That's interesting.
Do you believe it would be better to wrap it in one color?
Yeah, I'm processing
Please, please.
visually, actually,
Yeah.
in my third eye. How that reads.
I would, I'm a one color kind of guy.
I am too.
I don't believe.
But
that-
I believe in exploring it, and that it wasn't a good look.
This isn't a house, in my opinion, this style of house
Mhm.
or lack thereof. This is not what you do with the multicolor.
I agree.
You do that on a mid-century
Agreed.
in Palm Springs.
Yeah. Would it,
So which color is the question?
well,
It would have to be the pearl gray.
yes, that's what we would propose. We believe that the green is a little too strong. for the
I
front
agree.
facade, especially once you add as.
Yeah, the massing, yeah,
Yeah.
then it, as you pointed earlier, it is visually impactful, kind of driving down, so.
You can't miss this house because it's at the end of a dead end block essentially or whatever. So it's like when you come to Elwood, you're looking at this house the whole time.
But it will have the brick in the front to break up
Yeah,
the,
we're not proposing to remove that. which is-
okay.
And that's also like,
Is there another way that we can add the brick, cladding around the foundation, or is that?
it's definitely possible. I know I said it's a little bit costly.
I know, I'm
Oh.
trying to process how to make that feature, that aesthetic relevant.
Well, I will say this side is very invisible, like it's barely visible because.
The
Elwood's
right facing side?
The right facing, because it's a one-way street and it's relatively close to the neighbor. I just look at-
What about what question?
Yeah.
What about the front elevation, the area around the garage?
Yes, over here,
Yeah, coloring wise, I mean cladding, that would,
that makes sense. I think, that makes perfect sense. I think we could definitely propose that. Some brick around, we're saying basically this
Yep.
entire area.
yeah.
Absolutely. And that would actually, I think, enhance it, quite well.
Something also in my head, and I could be wrong, if there was, and is it me, is that too busy?
What?
I defer to you, if there
On
was a
this
break in that elevation,
Sure.
no, not that. If there's a break horizontally there, would that be too much?
I think it'd be too much.
Okay, just-
Here's, I have 3 or 4 things.
No, by all means, yeah,
I don't like this decoration, and that's what I'm gonna call it.
please. It is a
This
decoration, you're right.
makes no sense whatsoever.
Take it out.
I would say take it out. Why the change from what looks like a 612 pitch to a 412 pitch?
That was what they didn't want it to be. So,
Well, it changes the look of the house, and it's. I think that the scale and the proportion are completely wrong with this size of house to do a gabled roof at 412. It's, again, there is a lack of style. but this is not helping that.
Okay.
You know, this is, I looked on Zillow, there's not a date, but my guess is this is fifties, early
Oh,
fifties.
I, be honest with you, I don't have the date, but everything, I would say so too, yes.
Because this is when they were trying to be very clever and mid-century and modern, but they failed on every front.
And.
And I think that this doesn't help with that gable.
Right.
What do you see instead?
More of a 612 pit, and I'm guessing, I'm just,
Yeah, I don't know if I have the existing pitch displayed, I do have it proposed, but I agree, it's something like, it might even be a 7, honestly.
yeah,
It's
or,
pretty
or
steep,
I
yeah.
don't think it's an 8, but
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
But
But anyway.
does that affect the upper floor, ceiling height?
No, it affects the attic.
Yeah, just the attic and,
And-
yeah, it does increase our cost a little bit, but like, I think that, it's a great suggestion.
Mhm.
I think it needs to be looked at and definitely get rid of that decoration.
Yeah.
The Chicago style window, I looked at the plan, so that's like a family room right there.
Yes, correct.
It is now the only Chicago style window, which I realized that was the case before on the downstairs at the brick. But I'm wondering, would I just think scale wise, having 3 windows there as well, individual windows versus, or expand that center fixed pane. The problem I'm having is that it looks like it should be 3 double hungs,
But,
but it's 2 double hungs with a fixed glass in between. And they're all the same size. And you know, the whole idea of a Chicago style window is you've got that beautiful picture, as my mother used to call it, the picture window.
everybody calls them picture windows, you're right, yeah. I'm gonna take some notes, but I'm not doing other things. Okay.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
And what else did I see? I had something in mind before I saw, the house next door. I actually like the fact that they put shutters on this door, and I realize that's decoration as well, because they're not gonna cover the window. But they do add, that embellishment is, I think would help with not making this such a flat facade. I wouldn't call it,
That's what I missed.
Something that we can propose.
That's why I was, it
So in an
makes it warmer. It's
Yeah. In an
So-
alternative that we had proposed, which the applicant liked this proposal better, we had lengthened the windows and provided trims between the windows, like, and it had provided more of a modern look versus the shutters would give it a little more of a classic look.
but again, there's no style. I mean, and that, I don't mean that as a criticism or a negative.
But how do you create style continuity when it's absent in this
Well, I think,
example?
I think that if you change the pitch of the roof. and
No, I agree. Okay, I guess I should have said as it relates to the shutters.
Oh, I see, I think the shutters can be quite innocuous.
But in this.
Even in this,
Okay.
I just think the scale of all of that hardy siding, hardy plank is so overwhelming relative to the fenestration size, to the window size, that it just doesn't look scaled properly. And Shane, maybe this is just a matter of drawing it to see
Yeah,
what
You're
you
making
think.
good points, and I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
and that's why the rendering. And
I mean, I hear what
the
you're saying
installation
with the modern, because, you know,
I just know that that's their inclination.
Sure.
So that's why
Sure.
I'm a little reserved on the shutter.
Sure,
All the other
sure.
comments I definitely agreed with, but I'm.
well, let me throw something else out there.
Okay.
If they want to go that direction, why not look at doing a hip roof at 412?
Mm.
That is mid-century.
I do
Cost.
agree, again, they do have a cost issue in the hip roof, we explored it, and it's a little more costly to build, it's the same reason why the pitch is a little low. We were hoping to do a more cost-effective roof essentially, so that's the reason why.
Really, is it really that much of a difference? Because you're eliminating siding, you're eliminating roofing, well, some roofing material.
Maybe it should be a cost analysis and not a direct transactional, this roof costs this, this roof costs that. To your point, maybe kind of,
And I mean, because you have this great opportunity that you're adding the second floor
Right.
to this, and so you can reinterpret, you don't have to be stuck with
yeah,
what was done in 1952.
yeah.
Because I would also suggest, again, sort of mid-century, go with deeper eaves.
Oh, sure.
I
That's a
mean,
good point.
then you've really, one,
Uh-huh.
you've created a unique house that's next to a house that's like it.
Yeah.
And so now you've separated that and you have this very individualistic design.
But
And
the story
one,
becomes more cohesive.
yeah,
Right now, the story is like not there.
and the Chicago window makes sense now if you do something like that, because again, that also is
It points to a.
forties, fifties, yeah.
Right, right.
Time period.
Okay.
Those are good notations. What do you do again? For a living?
Oh, I don't know. I keep asking myself that sometimes.
All right, so, note taking, we've got some. we're
I
going
took
to-
a bunch of notes, I can.
Was that more?
So,
There's
yeah,
more.
so Shaheen, I was looking at the site plan. So again, a landscaping plan is needed.
So,
But I have a question
yes,
and I don't mean to tread in territory that, the owner might not want brought up. This could be interpreted as a multifamily with that space downstairs.
sure, I
And-
totally agree with you.
Is there some, has this, this is as far as you've gone, right? Just to the
I
architectural
have
review
obtained
board?
a plan examiner report with that layout, so the building department has accepted it.
Okay, okay. So how are you going to access that downstairs?
Well, there's a full staircase in the first floor.
So it's not, so the exterior door is merely for,
It's a bonus.
convenience to
Correct.
get to the yard, enjoy the flowers.
Yeah.
Cause you're gonna show a landscaping plan.
Okay, I do want to mention, I just want to, that the reason why I didn't present one is the applicant asked me to propose to maintain the existing grass and landscaping.
Oh, okay.
Is there landscaping?
I don't see any. I mean, even,
Not, maybe not.
And is that a tree that is a stump
No,
that
it's,
is,
it's, right? This?
yeah,
Oh, no,
that's,
this is the stump, this is.
that is a stump.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's been there for a while.
Is it gonna be removed?
I'll explore that, I don't know offhand.
Or at least take the pot off of there and plant some shrubs around it.
Well, I do want to mention that the city owns the property, so it's not very visible, I'm just looking at the fire plan. So we actually only have about 17 feet, but if you look at the picture, it looks like we have like 30 feet of grass.
But the stump is on her property.
Stump
Yeah.
is, but a lot of
I
that grass
understand.
is city owned.
Okay,
Okay.
be nice for the city to plant some trees on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Corner.
the driveway for, so actually the driveway for the building on Elwood is
Yeah.
a city owned lot. It's a tax lot, it's not a street. And it's adjacent to this property, so
trees.
half of it is grass, half of it is paved. It could definitely be improved. And I'll be honest with you, it would create great cover for the applicant, so,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, I see a couple of shrubs in the picture from 22. It's that the owner's prerogative if they don't want plantings. That's their prerogative.
I will circle back and confirm what we can do in terms of plantings.
There's some fencing there also, with the posts and the picture I'm looking at.
Yeah,
That's
same
okay.
here.
Um,
It's the post from the, it looks like an old chain link fence.
Yeah, to the right.
But Shane, we're looking at the January 22 Google Earth picture.
Got you, okay, I do have, I have brand new pictures right here, and, we did also, submit as a part of our package some pictures, which I believe are more, contemporary. So the current, if I may, the current elevation of the house looks like this.
Oh, okay. See, that pitch on that roof is so much nicer.
Yeah, it's a nice steep pitch, and also the differential between these two is kind of nice, whereas right
Yeah.
now it's all kind of one.
Yeah, yeah.
And the asphalt driveway is gonna be repaved?
Yeah, it's in bad condition, the
Yeah,
curb cut
that's-
as well.
Yeah.
I also, I know we do like trees, but, there is a very large city-owned tree
I
here,
see it.
which is the applicant is seeking to, remove through the DPW as well.
Okay.
Why?
because it impacts the way that they maneuver into the driveway.
So whatever is done, all of the regulations need to be followed because there is also part of that ordinance is that if you remove a tree.
Well, the city might not even allow it because it's city owned, like, I don't.
No,
it's
but
in good-
that's a great opportunity to ask the city if they will plant around
Yeah,
those.
Maybe we
other
can get some.
things that we
it looks like one of those London plane trees. Which seem to live forever.
Right.
Okay.
So if I'm hearing correctly, I have some homework to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I guess you're.
Oh, sorry. Going back to the space in the basement, you can leave it right there. Are you going to have any sort of impervious surface at that door? No,
It's required, so we're gonna have to have, I guess I should depict that, we do, it's
just like a landing.
I have to have a landing for the
Okay,
door.
okay.
And it should be depicted.
I made sure to pick that, thank you for bringing that up. And then, but otherwise, under the deck also is a flagstone porch patio, flagstone on the ground patio. And so that is being maintained underneath the deck. I can provide a picture of it, but it's depicted here.
Yeah,
So it's flagstone on grade. The deck is just ever so slightly longer and wider than the flagstone, so the post would come around it.
but the deck is not there today.
It is not, there's no
Okay.
deck, there's no access from the first floor to the backyard.
Okay. Yeah, it should be, the flagstone patio should be shown on the plan as well.
On the floor plan?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not there.
I also didn't mention, I don't know if the board finds it relevant, but we're proposing new mechanical units, and that is shown on plan, and we're proposing screening in front of it as well.
Screening is in, plants or fence?
I will confirm.
Okay,
I believe most likely a tiny piece of fence, so if that
Okay.
is the case, we'll propose that.
okay.
Fence can have a bit of greening on it.
Oh,
Well, you know.
we'll look back
the-
at that.
Commissioner?
I'm good. I propose that we,
Recap that list.
recap that list.
Change the house to.
Change that.
Change everything. Sorry, but the side of the house needs to all be the same color, right? I was gonna say change the house to the same color, but the sign should all be that gray color that's shown on the front.
Yes.
All the way. Provide brick cladding around garage door. Change the pitch of the roof. Now, this is, I didn't understand. I'm not a roof expert, but.
So there's two options. One, is to change the pitch of the roof to be more consistent with the existing pitch of the gabled roof. The second option is to explore and look at a cost analysis or cost comparison to make it a hip roof with a 412 pitch and deeper eaves. You know, this is not an inexpensive project, period.
I totally agree with you, and I think that some of the requests that have been made are, and that's, I definitely agree with many of the things that the board has said, that's all I'll say.
Because I'm just looking where you're gonna have to, literally like an anthill, you're gonna have to pick the top off and
What's
put it to the
percentage
side.
difference too, like,
Yeah.
between, on a $300,000 bill, what's the difference, you know?
Right.
I'll
I
say
mean-
more.
Say less.
Remove, decorative roof accent.
You just leave it, yeah, I think we all know what that is. Fake gable.
Faux.
Faux, if you want to be politically correct.
Okay, I was confused about the Chicago window. I changed window to make more conclusion.
So-
Not changing that Chicago window.
I'm talking about this one.
Yeah, that's the one,
Yeah,
and
it-
I confused the picture window.
So picture window is interchangeable with Chicago style window. My comment is to make it more proportionate as a Chicago style window with the fixed piece of glass being larger.
That's a rearticulation then.
I mean, I get to saying that it's a family room and it would be wonderful to be able to have that literal picture looking out,
Wouldn't be bad,
but
but
you just need a big picture.
yeah, yeah.
You want it to be like a big square.
A
window.
larger, more proportionate, piece of fixed glass. Consistent with the, Chicago style window.
One sheet of glass, no dividers.
No dividers there. You'll have double hung on either side.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Right.
Oh, I used to have.
We all have a picture window.
Yeah.
Okay, a landscaping plan needs to be provided. And flagstone patio should be shown on the plans.
Yes, yeah.
Probably-
And a landing at the new door on the basement level.
Landing by the new door, okay.
And
And
Shane,
exterior lighting details.
if they're not going to do landscaping, your site plan is adequate. I just,
I'm gonna do my very best to convince them to do something.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's their prerogative. I just hate all that expanse of lawn that needs
And
maintenance.
it's a corner property, so,
Yeah, I mean, it's technically not, but it very much feels like a corner property.
Yeah.
If anything, it's more exposed than a corner property,
Mhm.
yeah.
okay,
So we can just repeat that again, those writing also.
sure. Which,
About the lands, you
If-
don't have a land.
So if the owner is not wanting to incorporate new landscape, then the submission of the site plan of existing conditions is adequate. And the only thing I would add, and Shane, you've heard me say this a million times, if plantings are added, just make them native.
Yeah, and I'll put a note on the drawings too, absolutely. Yep. There was also the shutters, I don't know if you wanted to mention that.
That's part of your exploration.
Okay.
You know what we're talking
Right.
about here.
yeah,
And you know what, if you end up doing, if you're able to do a hip roof, then I don't think you need the
Right.
shutters, because it becomes a lot closer to mid-century.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think
And-
it's usually more appealing.
That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
the
yeah,
cost
yeah.
analysis, the comparison is
So,
important.
May I just, I don't know
Sure.
if it's appropriate to the alternative that we had done. This is what I was saying, where we had done an alternative with larger windows and a trim piece in the middle.
And if you throw a gable roof, I mean, a hip roof on
So
that,
that-
dude.
So this is what I wanted to propose. I'm gonna, but do you believe that this may be more appealing in its
I
styling?
do, and I'm not kidding.
And you see, I also didn't have originally that Chicago window.
I think I love the verticality of this. I think though, if you did do this and put a hip roof
A
on
hip
it,
with this would look cool,
Yeah.
right? Maybe that's
Oh my
something, I'm
God.
sorry if you didn't see, but,
Yeah, that'd be good.
I defer to it.
Me too. I like
oh,
it.
okay, but that's, so I just want to explore.
While
those
you're
notes with
here.
them, but this is just to notice what I originally had and then.
Shane, while you're here.
Oh, thank you.
no, I mean, I really like that. That is definitely.
So it let it, so we have the the noted, where is my brain at this hour?
I don't know. it's
Conditions.
Past
Condition-
8, so.
condition. Is there a motion to approve based on, not a motion to approve, but obviously, he has to come back, and submit February 26th, hopefully, we'll get a chance to see you back
Yeah, I'm fairly confident that I'll have everything,
Okay,
locked and
excellent.
loaded well before that.
All right, great.
If I won't, this applicant will be all over me anyway, so.
Okay. All right,
so-
good, good. Okay, we look forward to seeing you then.
Thank you, thanks so much for your time.
And,
Oh, so we have to make a motion though, right?
no, we
No,
don't have to make a
not on
motion.
this, okay.
He has to come back and resubmit.
And,
Okay, thank you.
is this an adequate enough rendering?
Don't-
or I-
don't take that
Should I make it 3-dimensional?
Do what you can to sell your project.
Yeah,
Thank you, I understand. Based on what we have, I will make a decision. Thank you.
so the next item is we need to confirm the meeting dates for 2025. I have one adjustment I'm requesting, that's March 26th. If it could be March 19th. Yeah,
What? That's the person.
I know, but who?
Oh.
What is the day of his-
So I just typed in.
Yeah.
And,
I wonder if that's.
I wish they'd turn on the camera. 'cause I'll call
Oh, yeah, we should wait. March 19th is okay on your calendar?
Yep, March 19th is fine.
Other than that, the dates look pretty good.
Well, yes, if you wanna have.
Shane.
A recession, a
Someone
recess?
recess?
Yes, ma'am.
Shane, before you go.
So, a lot of the meetings are in, especially in the time around the holiday, so you might want to think in advance, you want to have a meeting in December or not, because there's travel and there's things like that. So we don't think about that now, but as we get closer.
I mean, I'm kind of inclined to be like,
I will Google.
decide now. and, you know, if we do a December
I get it. No, because.
recess, yeah, because a lot of us do travel, and it is midweek.
But not for.
Yeah.
Not for
The holiday itself.
You said.
That's right, you're like, this guy's fucking lying. Yeah.
Recess.
No, it's a younger person, but
Okay.
Right, no meeting December. And this way, if everybody knows now in advance, you can push them to have their meetings or, you know, get their submissions in early. That means you guys have your due diligence to get as many folks'
Right, well, we'll just make sure that.
applications seen and processed.
We put in as many applications as we
Mhm.
can in
Mhm.
October, November.
Yeah,
So that.
since we're not meeting in December. Okay, good deal.
But it's good that we make this.
Yeah, decide now so that you
I'll make
can,
the corrections, I'll give everybody a clean
Great,
copy, and
okay.
then I'll post it on the website.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there
I
a
second it.
All in favor?
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. We'll make a motion to approve the adjustments made to the minutes.
Schedule adjustment.
I make a motion to approve the changes to the calendar.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a